everyone, I'm Holly and I am the owner of Missouri River Soap, and today I'm going to be making our spiked cider soap. I'm using a lye solution made with cider, and I'm actually going to give us a little spike. I have boiled down some Kentucky bourbon, not much. I have 1.5 ounces is all of this boiled down bourbon. And you boil it to remove the alcohol. I'm going to add this into the base and mix it in. It's just a little bit. I was like, you know, we're gonna have spiked cider. Maybe we should actually spike the cider. Now this is kind of a water oil situation, but I find that it still blends in okay. Okay, super. So I'm going to go ahead and strain my apple cider lye solution, just in case there's any bits at all. This is my second apple cider soap of the day, and the first one went really well. It does discolor the base to a tan though, so I have to work around that, but it's fine. You know, for apple cider, we're supposed to be working in those kind of colors this time of year. I'm hoping this doesn't get wild on me at all. Tapping out the air bubbles out of the shaft. Sometimes you can swirl too. Tap and swirl. This fragrance that I'm using today does have a slight acceleration. Some of the reviews said it wasn't too bad at all, so I'm really hoping that it's not going to be too bad for me today. I also have the bourbon and the apple cider that could possibly try to cause this to accelerate a little bit. I still see oils swirling on the top, and that's how I know it is not emulsified enough yet. So I keep working with it until it's ready. Alright, seems to be at a light trace now. I'm going to add in the fragrance. I'm hoping this goes nice today. I've had my share of ricing fragrances recently. This fragrance is gorgeous. It is an appley sweet, just a teeny slightest hint of floral. It has pear and some apricot in it as supporting notes, and it just smells, it smells like autumn. It just does, without having all the spice. Sometimes the spicy scents in the autumn get a bit overwhelming. I love them just as much as the next person, but it does get a bit overwhelming. I'm going to do my fair share. Like the last scent I made today is actually a bit spicy, but my point is, it's nice to have a soap that's also not spicy to go with it. So I'm going to pour a little bit out here to just add a little bit of a accent color. So what I have here is a mixture of several different micas, and I mixed up some bronze and some gold. I've got a little bit of like a Merlot and an orange. So pretty much is just looking as if I'd used the copper. That's cafe. That's a little bit funny. We're going to go with it. This is starting to get a little bit thick, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour it. And I'm trying to decide, how do I want to do this batch? The apple cider makes the batter just the most caramely, wonderful color. It's so good. So, you know, I honestly just think I'm going to do an in the pot swirl. I just think that's going to be gorgeous. I'll put one here, one here. Just kind of swirl it about. The discoloration on this particular fragrance says it goes to a yellow, which is fine because obviously my cider is discoloring the soap already. So sometimes, in addition to the spicy scent, the dark colors dark and orange can start get a little old. So I'm trying to think of some different options this year. Things are getting quite thick here. I just think this is going to look very pretty. I'm starting to get a bit of a thick texture in there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna go smack this down first. Just gonna smooth this about. It's going to be a very simple soap. I've tried to do a lot of interesting designs throughout the years with the appley type soaps, and it doesn't really work out. So I decided I wasn't going to bother this year and just enjoy the process a little bit more instead of fighting it so bad. So I think I'm just going to give it some texture like so. I'm going to clean off these edges because I do love a cleaned up edge. There's really nothing more to do for this batch. It's one of those just more simple looking batches. Sometimes in the fall I enjoy the comfort of more simple batches also. This is something I've learned about myself. So here we have the spiked cider soap made with apple cider and Kentucky bourbon, and I will see you back here for the cut. It's been several days and I'm back to cut my apple cider soap. It has had the opportunity to cure in quite a little bit, so that's why we have this little ring in there. That's just where the air hasn't gotten to it yet. And it is going to discolor just a little bit. I think this batch turned out so pretty. Oh, love it. And I'll show you a bar that's been, I had most of these cut already. Let's see, I won't end up much for swirls. I want to show you a more swirly one. So here's one that has been curing for quite a while. So there's no lighter center to it. It would be if I cut into it, but not as a bar right now. So I'm really loving this scent. It's just a sweet apple and not really as spicy, but it's not an in-your-face apple either, like a Macintosh apple or something like that. It's just so, it's like comforting almost. It's just gentle and comforting and kind of cozy, if you ask me. Perfect kickoff type of soap to the autumn season. I am quite the fan of it. So I had 2 and almost a half of a loaf cut already and put onto my curing rack. So now I'm going to cut this full loaf. It's pretty, isn't it? And I even love this top. There's some ash on it. Love the top. Looking good. I absolutely love apple cider. It does not just taste so good, cold or hot. I love it, so good. We used to get apple cider from the Lewisburg cider mill, Lewisburg, Kansas. That's kind of the big one around there. I'm trying to remember. I think I actually bought Lewisburg down here in southwest Missouri also to make this soap. Have to go look at my notes to see if it was Lewisburg, but I'm pretty sure it was. So this is gonna have a nice swirl to it. Isn't that pretty? Nice. I just love how it turned out. We are getting very, very close to the autumn season. I don't feel quite ready for it this year. I'm just not ready to give up with summer yet. Hoping to take a little vacation maybe somewhere though to see some nice leaf color. We don't really have super strong colors around here because we don't really have any maples or aspen or anything like that. We do get some pretty colors though, but it's just not very spectacular around here. Not super impressive. So I'm hoping, even if it's as simple as a little trip to Eureka Springs later in the year, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. So here we have just this thick end cut. I did get my 10 there from that loaf, so I just cut these into about thirds. They're pretty hefty still. So we end up with quite a few samples when we do that. This one's a little bit thinner. I probably could still, we're gonna go with that. We'll let it have a little bigger one. I will keep one of these for testing. I just love having these little end pieces to be able to send out so you guys can see what you think maybe about a scent that you didn't buy. Alright, so there we have it. This is the apple cider soap, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.